Okay, says I'm live. Great. So, what I'm going to do first is take 3 deep breaths. Okay. So, I finally drugged myself in front of a camera today, a video camera specifically. I'm noticing part of my resistance is a long habit of preferring to stay behind the camera, as in out of like controlling the image, but not being in the image. And of course, at no point in my life have I had such readily accessible video equipment. When I was a kid, it was something only extremely rich people or movie makers had access to. So I feel like I've reached another one of those really important turning points. And there are a lot of aspects of my life right now that have been present at other points. And so I have those things to kind of compare against. So, for example, I'm having a health condition kind of flare up. And I'm pretty sure that my doctors and I have figured out kind of what the actual underlying condition is, so that I can start working on the root cause, while at the same time taking medications and doing specific practices and things to try to help relieve a lot of the symptoms that I'm experiencing from the conglomeration of all of these things. So my body feels really, there's a lot of pain and discomfort. I haven't been sleeping well for quite some time. My mental clarity kind of comes and goes. And I feel really uncomfortable with like how much weight I have gained, how frequently my belly feels bloated and painful, a lot of that kind of stuff. So I'm really dedicating myself more and more, and I've been tuning into this for a while now, and but I'm reaching a point where I'm ready to pretty much release everything that doesn't specifically relate to resetting my relationship with food, and with therefore with how I treat my body through food, resetting my relationship with substances that have been kind of hard on my body, but they're socially acceptable, so I'm able to like get away with kind of having an unhealthy relationship with them. So like sugar, for example, I have quite a varied, but yeah, definitely have a addictive relationship with sugar. I have an addictive relationship with gluten. I know that it hurts. It hurts, like it affects my body relatively quickly. And still, I have over the past quite a few months been consistently just be like, man, I'll just take my special pill that helps my body process it a little bit better and it'll be fine. Yeah, it's not fine. So I am going to attempt, I'm going to approach the Whole 30 program starting next week. My hope with that is that even though I know that it's going to bring me face to face with a lot of my really uncomfortable relationships with these substances and cannabis as well, um, I feel like on the other side, it will be worth it. And I really do want to reset my relationship with all of these substances. I'd like to be able to responsibly enjoy caffeine in the form of coffee. And um, I might be somebody who can't ever really have more than maybe a bite of gluten every now and then. That's possibly true. But while I'm trying to address this underlying issue, which I recognize is going to be difficult, I am supported by the use of a pharmaceutical medication, which I resisted taking for a really long time and had a lot of paranoia about it. But it is definitely helping. My doctor and I have agreed to increase my dose a little bit over the past couple of weeks. So I feel like it helps me have enough stability that I can make the plans that are required in order to attempt a pretty intensive program like the Whole30. Like, I gotta make my own mayonnaise for fuck's sake. So, I mean, that's not something I've had to do for a while. It takes I gotta carve a little bit of time out for that. So yeah, and I also kind of want to identify how much of this weight gain and discomfort in my body is related to the way I've been treating it with food, and how much of it is related to just the way the medication works in my body. Because there will come a point where there's only just so much weight gain I'm willing to carry for a medication. But anyway, I'm hoping that the food interventions will probably help alleviate some of the discomfort I'm in overall, especially with my mental health. My intention is to also continue to do these kind of confessional style videos with some regularity. I imagine the first round would be just me going live and just bleh, saying what it is that's going on. And that's kind of more my field notes for, giving myself field note reports, but I don't mind if other people watch it and kind of pick up what they can as we go along. What I can imagine happening in the future is me be able to come back to these field notes and kind of filling them out a little bit more, or using them in a slightly different way. And eventually I'll kind of weave together my Facebook business page and my YouTube Heather's Full Catastrophe channel, and Art of Processing on YouTube, and my Heather Thomas Campbell Instagram. So I have all these different things that I want to weave together, but there's only so much I can do at once. So I'm attempting to also kind of structure my life as if I'm in college. And I am working part-time as a rideshare driver. So I attempt to drive just at times that are the absolutely most lucrative, so I can work as little as possible. And what are some other themes? Let's see. I'm kind of tracking time. I'm also resetting. Part of what I think might be difficult for me as I navigate into this Whole30 food approach is I have my inner child, my shadow self, my growing up, whatever, however you want to put it. There was a lot of times that I was in a situation where I felt as though food was unstable. I didn't know for sure when I was going to eat next. I didn't know for sure what it was going to be, if it was going to be something I liked or if I hated it. The worst was when I was really, really hungry, but all we had to eat was something that I thought tasted disgusting. That really bummed me out. But I would have to eat it because it was all we had. So I usually ate rather than go hungry. So I really want to reset the stories in my body around food instability, food insecurity, not having my basic needs met consistently by caregivers, by me being a hardworking kid. There wasn't much time for play or rest or even my studies, my homework had to always be kind of packed in these little corners of time. But then I also know that by touching gently into kind of what were some of the external things that were going on in my life when I was a little kid, I can tell some really interesting stories. And part of what I find particularly interesting is that I can see that I live at this crossroads of time where there really aren't a whole lot of folks in their, like, I think they would need to be maybe in their 90s or so. I'd have to look and figure it out. But there aren't a whole lot of folks who, like, say, remember the Great Depression, or, who are still alive, or who really grew up hardcore on the farm, subsistence kind of lifestyle. Like, I think that was a lot more common back then. I happen to be in this really odd situation where, even though I'm only just nearing 50, I had that, like, frontier experience that there are very few people alive who really truly had that, at least in the Western world. There's all over the rest of the world, there's people who are living it right now. But I grew up in the Western world, but without electricity, without indoor running water, without indoor plumbing, and learned about what money was like through the context of government food aid, food stamps, and I also learned about the whole, like, energy exchange of how you can get your needs met without cash currency, living in a really small town in Alaska. And I think that's a really interesting theme that I want to keep kind of tuning back into. I know I went a little off the beaten path there, but all of that to say that the context that I intend to try and create all of this through is as if I'm in college. So I have these courses that I'm taking, and I have papers I need to write, and book reports to do, and all this sort of stuff. So I'm kind of trying to basically turn each of my, like, current life experiences into a course for myself, so that I treat it in the same way. I give it the same kind of attention, a couple hours a week of actual, like, lecture or practicum, and then a couple hours a week of homework in each one of those courses. And so I also have to kind of block out all that time. And then at the same time, I'm trying to reset this whole food relationship thing. So I recognize that that's a heavy load to carry, but I do have the support of my dear partner, my live-in partner, and sweetheart. He will help me as much as he can, and I also do need to step up and do quite a bit more cooking and food prep. I really can't ask him to do any more of that, so I'm going to have to do all the extra, and that'll be a good stretch for me as well. But again, I need to schedule all of that time in. So luckily, like, this medication that I'm on, combined with making sure I'm really structured about when I eat and how much movement I get and how much sleep I get, like, I'm having to be really pretty detailed about my schedule and my routine. But that the closer I get to a routine that is easy enough that I can just kind of do it without thinking about it, it will free up a little bit more energy for other things. And I will feel confident that the routine I'm creating is one that doesn't have a lot of, there's not a lot of time left in it for junk food eating, or just kind of thoughtless cannabis smoking, or I don't know, kind of gossipy behavior with friends or something. Only space for the things that are truly supportive and nourishing. And I anticipate my social interactions becoming more something that happens kind of somewhat spontaneously, because planning in advance for my energy levels at this current stage is somewhat difficult. But I'm also making sure that there's time for that as well. So, yeah, so this is timestamped April 30th, 2022. It's 12:20. It's probably 12:22 if I, oh, shit you not. Oh my God. It's 12:22. Let me be up. I don't know if it's going to show up. 12:22. I don't know if you can see that, but that cracks me up. That's funny. So I even put on my schedule that it's time to make lunch. It's time to take a shower, all of that kind of stuff, because otherwise I end up slipping too much, trying to slip too much in, and I am living 3 lifetimes in a day, and it's just too much. Okay. Yeah, I think this is going to be really helpful. This is going to help me clear out my mind a little bit more. Because I keep thinking about morning pages, like from The Artist's Way, but my hands hurt if I try to write too much. And my handwriting is very difficult to read if I write very much. So I think this is going to help me keep it clearer. Okay, I really need to wrap up. The other thing I noted is that my early April video that I made, I was really committed to dance and Qigong and transcendental meditation, and I have not been very consistent with any of those things. I do them with some frequency, but not at the level that I intended. So it's a data point. Okay. All right. I am now leaving for reals. Have a great day. I'm going to do the best I can to curate a fuck yes life, one breath, one moment, one choice at a time. See you later.